So, it's Sunday, which means it's time for a little Stashcast. For those of you who are new and don't know who I am, I'm Aradia Noir, your resident witch and creatrix over to Radi's Hand and Danae's Divine, where I create myth, magic, and meaning for your everyday life through art, intuition, and energy work. On Sundays, we like to do a little thing called Stashcast. So the Stashcast is a holdover from the artist community. Stash can be beads, buttons, thread, fabric, yarn. It also can be tools. And it's basically anything that you have collected and you have a fairly substantial amount of. Of course, you can have a small stash, but most people I know have a fairly decent sized stash. So, over the last couple of weeks, we've talked about knitting needles, and we're going to continue talking about some fiber tools because that is the mainstay of the work that I do. I've moved my schedule around a bunch. I was supposed to do looms today and last weekend. I didn't. So, yeah. Oops. So we're gonna switch gears because I actually I fudged some recordings. I recorded something for yesterday, even though I didn't need to. So I'm moving that to the second week of September, or the second Saturday of September. Well, because of that, and because I mentioned something, I have to move that video that I mentioned coming up forward too. So here we are. Lovely gap. So we're going to be doing a little time travel, not today, but just heads up. That's the running joke, is that whenever I pre-record stuff, we're traveling in time. So without further ado, what I got? Sticks. Nostepinnes. So we'll use this one because it doesn't have anything on it. This is a weaving tool or a fiber tool, and the whole purpose is to wind a ball of yarn. Now, before we get too far into that, this is a ball of yarn. It is not an actual ball. It is the shape that it makes is called a cake. I don't know whose idea it was to call it a ball because a ball is round, and this, when it's done, would resemble something more like this, right? So, yeah, that didn't make any sense. Let's see. And this is like the old school way. So, you don't have to use this particular tool. A lot of them are tapered so that it's easier to get the yarn off. But you definitely want to be able to get the yarn off. Like, that's the whole point. Theoretically, you could use any stick that you could slide the yarn off easily. But I personally like these one because they're handmade. And they're from like my favorite woodworker, so obviously. So there's that. Now, what I use this for is for my art and novelty yarns. So when I make lucite yarns, if we're talking about super bulky yarn or jumbo yarn or something like that, this is going to be able to take the weight of that yarn a lot better. Now, when I say weight, I mean the thickness of the fiber, not the actual physical weight. Obviously, the more weight you put on this, the larger the ball is going to be. And there's just a limit at which it becomes obnoxious, because usually when you're using this, you're turning it a little bit by a little bit, and that's there's an art to it, which I've not mastered. And then I've got this little one. This is for pretty much everything else. So everything from lace up to, I think I would put bulky on this. You know, it still wouldn't be a huge skein, but that would be fine. This is I'm going to say this is a fingering weight yarn. So this is a sock yarn, and I wanted to have some wound so you could see like what it does. And this is just a style of winding to like anchor the yarn so that you can start winding. Now, I switched hands in the middle of this, so it's not the best winding job. I did consider redoing it, and there's a couple different winding styles that you can do. This is somewhere, it started as a cake and it's looking more like a goose egg, is what they call it. I probably will do, well, I'm a little better at this. I should just practice. I will probably do a I'll do a video on it because I'd like to, but right now, oh god, it's a mess. It's a mess. It really is. So what's that? That's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm still practicing with them. I've used this one more. This was actually just hanging out in my bag, and this is something that what I would do is I like to use for relatively small amounts of yarn too. A larger amount that would, it would just make more sense to wind it on a ball winder because it's just so much. So there's that. But like I said, I haven't quite gotten the hang of it. You can use it in either hand, but the trick really is you have to move this hand, you're turning this one, and then wrapping with this one. And so you're doing like this. And it's kind of like the whole rub your stomach, pat your head thing. There's a degree of coordination that just as you do it more, you'll just get better at it because that's how that works. So, yeah. All right. If you want to see pictures of both of these, I will have them below. This one is persimmon. I think this one's apple. It's apple or cherry. I think it's apple. It might be hedge apple, but I think that's what this one is. So yeah, my brain's a little like fuzzy right now. I got these both from Robin at the Dancing Goats. You'll see his Etsy store linked below. I've also linked to the section where you can specifically find the Nostepinnes. They're also grouped with the distaff, and a distaff is a completely different tool. It would be easy to kind of look them the same way, and theoretically you could use a Nostepinne like you use a distaff, but depending on the shape of the distaff, you really wouldn't use it like you would use a Nostepinne because the ends of a distaff a lot of times will flare out, so you can't slide anything off of it easily. Whereas a Nostepinne, it's either tapered or it at least would be even, so there's no nodule or anything on the end to stop it from coming off. And of course, these usually have a handle. So it's a distinct handle. A distaff may or may not have a handle. There's different kinds of distaffs. Whereas the Nostepinne pretty much for the most part is all the same. They do have ones that have less turning on them, but it still follows the rule that it's generally tapered. So, and if you go over there and grab one from Robin, tell him that Aradia sent you. Because I'm like always over there. Like, I need more stuff. I love his work. Heads up. I'm going to be doing a video of all of my homemade, handmade tools, which is going to feature actually a lot of stuff from Robin, as well as like one or two other, like Stephen Willett and Wolverton Mountain. I think that's it. I think everything else is from Robin. It just tells you like how much I like the work he does. So I don't know when that's going to come up. I'm just going to give you a sneak peek because you're here. We're going to talk about spindles, Nostepinne, distaffs, my knitting knotties included in there. I've also got a few wooden bowls that are yarn bowls, and then I have a pottery bowl that I use as a yarn bowl that was handmade. Not for that purpose, it just works really well. I'm trying to think of what else I have. I think that's it. Like, it's all sitting in the... Oh, and then I've got a giant crochet hook, too, that I can share. But I gotta find all that stuff. I'm currently not sure where all of my yarn bowls are. I have 3 wooden ones. One hand to it's a hand turned from a wheel. Oh, I wouldn't call it ceramic because that's a completely different process, but it's pottery. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm not sure where all those poles are. I want to go ahead and get them all together so that I can share them. My brain is tired, so there's that. Anyway, we're about to like make a whole shit ton of videos. So we just apologize if over the next course of like, I don't know, the next couple of weeks, several weeks, I don't know, several months, our Stashcast looks a little, that's because I am recording them today and my brain is tired and it's really hard for me to think. It's fun. It's so much fun. I kept disassociating it yesterday while I was working on something. I would like set the work down to do something and then I would just like realize that I was in my office. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's really weird. It wasn't altogether pleasant. Like, it was fine, but I got lost. It happens a lot. It happens more when I'm stressed out. Probably happens a little more when I'm tired because my brain's not functioning optimally. So, probably. Ooh, goodness. So, all right. Like I said, if you want to see pictures of the tools, you can scroll into the post below. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that link at the top and it'll send you over to Patreon where you can see it. This is a public post. My question for you today is, do you have any Nostepinnes? Where'd you get them? Right? Who made them? Do you like them? How do you use them? Do you have different sizes? You know, whatever. As always, I've got the links below to, again, the dancing goats on Etsy, as well as the specific section where you'll find the Nostepinnes, distaffs, etc. And of course, my websites, Aradia's Hand and Danae's Divine, are linked below, as well as my active social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where I like to hang out the most. And because you're so good and you stay till the end, you get to hear our announcement for our next post, which is tomorrow. So usually I would do a Monday motivation, but it just so happens to be the last day of the month. So we're going to do our Bujo setup, which is really fun. I haven't done one. I feel like I haven't done one in a while. It's not fun. It's just, it's intensive and I like to procrastinate, like getting everything ready. So when I do finish, or when I do get to the point, I'm just like, oh shit, I have to do all this. It's not ready yet. So that's a little harrowing. But I did some scheduling today, so yeah. Theoretically, how I'm supposed to do my schedule is I have the entire quarter that I'm in is all set up, and the quarter that follows is also set up. That's fine till we get to the end of the year, because I do my quarters seasonally, not by the calendar, not like a fiscal quarter. So that means for me to set up spring, I have to have my stuff already, which, you know, is a lot. It's a lot. Anyway, I'm still working out the kinks of this. It's not going so well. So, there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. If you're watching this on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe. And for all my patrons, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, for supporting me, and for making content like this possible so I can give back to the community and share, because I don't teach. So this is like in lieu of that. This is what I do. So long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and goodbye. And I will see you, hopefully, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed tomorrow. All right, toodles.